Hello and welcome back. We are now ready to do the final sanding and finishing of our mini bat. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to sand it down with 180, 120, put some finish on it, then do 220, put some more finish on it. But before we really get crazy into doing the finish, what I always like to do is, if I'm going to do any highlighting in my graphics, I like to get some sealer on so I can get onto that pretty quickly. So when I'm doing all the final sanding, I'm also taking anything out of the way that would be in my way for doing the logo stuff. So what I'll do first is I'll take some 120, take a little 120, and we're just going to sand off by the logo so it's somewhat smooth and we get the burrs off of it. You don't have to sand this a lot, just enough to get rid of the burrs. Okay? Then we're going to blow it off with air to get the remnants of the sanding out of your logo there. So we'll just blow it off, get that all out of there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some finish on this area right here so that we can seal the pores, and so when we go to put down the color that we're going to use in the logo, we can do that. And I go through and make sure that I have any leftover fuzzies out of the way, because what will happen is the sealer will seal those in, and when you go to clean this all up, they'll show up. So we're in good shape there. What all I'm going to do is take a little shellac and put on here and let it dry, and then come back and fill it back in with some paint. So all I do is just take a little bit, and this is shellac, so I just take a little bit and move it around. And what I'm really trying to do is seal all this stuff up so that when I go to put the color on, the color won't sink into the pores. So all I'm going to do is seal this up some with shellac. Shellac dries pretty fast, so you don't have to wait forever and ever to, and it's a good sealer too. So I just keep on putting a few coats on until I feel that I've got enough on there to fill up the pores. Okay, we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and put some black in there. Okay, what I'm going to do is mix up a little paint here, and all we're going to do is very slightly fill in, and what I'm trying to make it look like is I'm trying to make it look like it's a kind of like burnt in there, so I'm really going to put it on thin. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a little thinner base in here so I can make my black kind of transparent. Because like I said, I kind of want a more of a smoky look than I do a real strong black look. So what I'll do is just take this, mix it up a little bit. And all I'll do is just spray this a little bit in there. And all I want to do is kind of make it look like it was burnt in. Again, I'm not doing this real strong. And even if you're going to make it a strong, if you put it on dry, in other words, you don't flood it in, it's less likely it's going to scream into the pores. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. So we're done with that. We'll get rid of the excess, and then we'll continue on. Okay, we're going to let this dry for a minute or two. And then we'll continue sanding. So what we'll do is we'll start sanding on this end. You see this real heaviness right here? I'm going to take that stuff off with my Dremel tool. So I'll put a bit into my Dremel tool that somewhat on the coarse side, but we'll bring it in here, and what we're going to do is just trim that off a little bit. This is where the tab was. I put a pretty heavy tab on it so we wouldn't break it loose and lose everything. Okay, let's work on this side now. And you might want to do the tabs on the end too. And if you got any kind of a seam line, you can work on that too. All I'm doing is just getting rid of all of that seam line and my tabs and stuff like that. And if you got any tabs down here, take care of them too. Okay. Pretty much done there. Now, you can pretty much start hand sanding it. And this is just 120 that I'm just walking it around. Pieces until you get them where you want them to be. I roll it as I'm going linear. I roll it too, so I don't put flat spots in it. Well, that's not looking too bad for the 120 part of it. Like I said, you just keep on working at it the best you can. So you get it to where you want it to be. After you get it where you want it to be, you can start looking at it. And I still got a little bit right in here to do. Not too bad. You can start blowing air on it to see what it, if we're okay on our logo. Oh, I like the way that turned out. That's good. I like that. That would be fantastic. So we just keep on working at this until we get it to where we want it to be. Okay, we're back. Now we're ready to put some lacquer on it, and I'll just take some lacquer straight out of the can here. This is what I'm using on it. Just straight out of the can, and I'm just going to wipe it on. Just take a little cloth and we'll just get some on it and we'll just wipe it on. Just like a wipe-on finish, it works really decent. No brush marks because it's more or less wiped on, and gives you a nice finish. And that's all there is to it. Let it dry, sand it off with 220, put a couple more coats on it, and we have a finished product. Okay, we're back. So what we're going to do now is take our 220 sandpaper and we're going to just lightly sand this just to get off any runs or anything like that. Okay, take a clean cloth, wipe it down with a clean cloth, and we'll blow out the lettering, get all the dust out of it. Now we should be ready to put our final coat on. Okay, ready to put our final coat on. Again, I'm going to wipe this on like I did before. And we're going to do this end first this time. Get it all nice and smooth. And then just apply it on just like we did before. Now we're ready to do the other end. There we go, our completed bat. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next month for next month's project. If you need directions or the files, they're available on nextwave.com, nextwaveautomation.com, and they have all the instructions and stuff on how to make this two-sided bat. Thank you for watching. Good day.